Hey, what is up guys? It's been nearly a week since the Jungle Inferno TF2 update had dropped and bamboozled all of us with the new pyro weapons. In fact, if you even played one game in the last week or so, you know there's literally just all pyros, pyros and pyros on every single server. However, during this time, there have been rising complaints that the new pyro loadout, that is the Dragon's Fury and the Thermal Thruster, is broken and OP. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at the new pyro subclass and see if it does live up to its growing infamy. Without further ado, let's get right on in. First up, we have the Dragon's Fury, a flamethrower that shoots a single fast traveling fireball. Each shot deals a base damage of 25 but deals 300 damage to already burning players. The fire rate also increases by 50% on a successful hit but decreases by 50% upon air blasting. The weapon is short ranged and the ammo count for it is 40. Now, those stats may sound pretty average, but in practice it is a great burst damage weapon that deals crazy consecutive damage. A rocket launcher deals 100 damage on average in a solid hit, but more often than not players use its splash range instead, which decreases the damage to anywhere between 40 to 90 damage. With the Dragon's Fury, however, a solid hit on a burning player deals on average 75 damage, which is not too difficult considering its generous hitbox. On top of this, it rewards good aim with a faster fire rate, one that is significantly higher than the rocket launcher. This means that if you can land all your shots, you can kill a scout, a sniper without the new Darwin's danger shield, an engineer, a medic, a pyro, and a non-shielded demo man in just 3 hits. A soldier will take 4 shots, but you still have the air blast enabled on the weapon. And the toughest of course will be the heavy, which will take a solid 5 shots to kill at full health. Now you're probably thinking, holy crap, that's OP, Valve, please nerf. Now this is a part where we consider not just a weapon's damage potential, but pyro's survivability and whether or not he can hit those 3+ shots. Because let's face it, which heavy or soldier is just going to stand still and take your fireballs in the middle of an intense fight? By itself, the weapon is strong against individual small to medium health classes, as well as tight spaces, but it lacks any significant advantages in open spaces and against high health and resistance classes. This is where the new Thermal Thruster comes in. The Thermal Thruster has a unique mechanic which essentially acts as a jetpack. The pyro gets a little boost in the air and then launches a short distance towards wherever the player is pointing towards in a shallow arch trajectory. There are 2 charges to be used and they fill back up reasonably quick. Oh, and you also deal 3 times falling damage to players to land on, but who's gonna be crazy enough to use that, right? Anyways, the Thermal Thruster is primarily a mobility item that allows the pyro to move quickly into flamethrower range with its enemies. It has undeniable advantages that circumvent the long-lasting problem of a pyro being shut down before it can effectively do anything. However, the 1 second delay switching to and from the Thermal Thruster is a massive amount of time considering the fast-paced action in TF2. An interesting point to note as well is that the degreaser, which is deployed 60% faster, does not affect the switch time at all. The Thermal Thruster is an excellent flank tool that makes pyro able to overcome numerous obstacles, but while using it, the pyro is essentially a sitting duck. This makes the player consider the risk and heavily relies on their game sense. Right away, this combination seems somewhat situational, and more often than not, I find that equipping a shotgun with the Dragon's Fury is far more effective at dealing damage to the enemy. However, without the jetpack, pyro will still have the age-old problem of too little mobility and can be easily preyed upon by other stronger classes. Right now, the 1 second delay is just too much, and I think it will be much better if the switch time is lowered to half a second. For this reason, the jetpack can also be discounted as a fast escape tool in the way of a sticky jump or a rocket jump. Most of the time, you're better off just switching to the power jack and running away. This brings me to my last point, the melee of this loadout. While everyone's going crazy about the new hot hand, I personally believe that the Power Jack or even the Neon Annihilator is much more useful. Both items can help out the pyro in a sticky situation, whereas the hot hand requires the pyro to risk himself in order to receive the measly 20% speed boost. All in all, while I think that this loadout, while potentially powerful, is not overpowered. The burst damage is dependent on the player's ability to aim, maneuver himself and his general game sense. On top of this, sentries and heavies can still easily mow down a careless pyro using this loadout. It is by no means a crutch. Right now, many of the complaints likely stem from the sheer amount of pyros. I mean, come on, there are usually 8 pyros on each team, that's ridiculous. Plus, the weapon deals 300 damage to players on fire and, well, with so many pyros around, someone's bound to be on fire all the time. I think this is an excellent loadout regardless and encourages a whole new playstyle to play one of the core 9 classes of TF2. Anyways, this is all just my opinion on the matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you would like to see more of this, please tell me in the comment section and press that like button. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, adios.
I might look like this.